Can I be real a second? For just a millisecond.
If you're here, you've seen Hamilton on Disney+, but I'm here to tell you, no you haven't. Or not really, because there are small moments and foreshadowing themes throughout the entire production that will completely change the way you watch it. From Hamilton's jackets, to his misdeeds, to his death by the bullet, here's 20 cool background things to look for the next time you rewatch Hamilton.
Alright, that's what I'm talking about!
Before we dive in though, you're gonna wanna go hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. We're putting out all kinds of in-depth analysis on our favorite new movies and shows, and you can keep up with all of it with a click of a button. It's that easy.
Are you saying no sweat?
First, let's start with Hamilton's jackets. It's such a small detail, but they mark pretty significant changes in his life and his character. In Alexander Hamilton, Hamilton starts off the show in a kind of white, more of an off-white beige color jacket, and this is more signifying his past. Later, Eliza enters with his brown jacket, and he puts this on, which symbolizes he's now a teenager, has moved to New York, and he's ready to take on the world. At the start of Right Hand Man, Hamilton isn't wearing a jacket, but we see BURR enter holding Hamilton's blue jacket. He helps him into it, and he now matches all his war buddies, and we're ready to start the revolution.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
Fast forward to Non-Stop, and we see BURR enter with Hamilton's green jacket. This signifies another life stage transition. The war is over, America's won, and Hamilton is now a lawyer fighting to help shape the new free America. Then we get to Blow Us All Away, where Hamilton enters wearing a black jacket. He's done what he needed to do in life, and he's nearing the end of his life. But he's also about to enter a period of mourning, because Blow Us All Away is the song where Philip meets the man who will eventually take his life in New Jersey.
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
When we get to the election of 1800, Hamilton enters without a jacket. He's wearing black and white because he's no longer in a period of mourning. He's ready to work again and a bit more invigorated, but the black is still there because he's getting ready to die real soon. Finally, and the world was wide enough, we see an ensemble member enter with Hamilton's black cloak. He drapes this over him, cloaking him in darkness, because it's finally time to meet his end. While those are some pretty symbolic jackets to look for, I also have a few lighter moments that you should definitely keep an eye out for on your second or 17th watch.
My God.
In the opening number, Alexander Hamilton, each time a new character enters, the previous character steps back and snaps in time with the beat. So when Hercules Mulligan comes onto the stage, look behind all the characters and you'll see one of the ensemble members just casually snapping in the back. It's pretty cool. Also, Eliza and Washington narrate the part of the story where Hamilton's mother and cousin die, but you don't need to look at them. Keep your eye on the background and you'll see the ensemble members actually portraying the deaths of Hamilton's mother and cousin. Then, during my shot, you'll notice that Aaron Burr doesn't actually go away after Hamilton joins his future rebellion buds, Marquis de Lafayette, John Laurens, and Hercules Mulligan. After the spotlight leaves him, you'll see Burr greet an ensemble member and take a seat in the background. While the guys are hanging out and talking in the front, he starts to read a book. That's pretty symbolic of his political attitude to just sit back and wait, see what's popular, and then join it. Later in the song, Hamilton flirts with a girl in the bar.
Don't be shocked when your history book mentions me.
Which is definitely foreshadowing that he's gonna be a total man-whore later. Come on, Alex. And finally, it's during my shot that we're unknowingly introduced to the bullet. She serves as the show's harbinger of death, and if you watch closely, you'll see characters interacting with her just before they die. And you'll catch her influencing events leading to characters' deaths. Yep, there's an unnamed but billed character portrayed by ensemble member Ariana DeBose, and she's simply called the Bullet. My shot is the first of many times we see her foreshadowing Hamilton's death. As he says his, "I imagine death so much it feels more like a memory" monologue, the cast unfreezes as he walks by. DeBose is the last to unfreeze, and we see her hand is still outstretched toward him as he walks by. That brings me to "You'll be back," and the Bullet is the one who's back. As he's walking off stage, we see King George III order a British soldier to execute DeBose's character. That makes her the first death of the revolution in the production, solidifying her role as the harbinger of death. Next, if you keep an eye on the background of Right Hand Man, you can catch Washington looking in the mirror and grabbing his sword off the wall before he's introduced for the first time. This would also be a lot cooler if they didn't give away his entrance with that terrible close-up, but that's beside the point.
Okay, what else?
I also caught a funny little moment in A Winter's Ball. While Burr is narrating in the spotlight, we can see that Lafayette is actually about to meet Angelica first, but Hamilton pushes him out of the way to introduce himself. Poor Lafayette, but honestly, poor Angelica. Maybe Lafayette could have been satisfied, or at least satisfied her. But that's okay, because I totally missed a moment in Helpless during Alex and Eliza's wedding when Lafayette walks Peggy down the aisle. Judging by her expression, he totally whispers something inappropriate here, which is just hilarious to me. Might not be a background thing, but I loved it when I finally noticed it.
Let's have another round tonight.
You definitely have to look closely and have a good memory to see the coolest part about Satisfied, which is the best number, by the way. The choreography around Angelica as she looks back in time is actually some of the same choreography they did leading to that moment. Like, the exact same. Here it is, side by side with the original choreography. How cool is that? But what's even cooler is in Stay Alive, we see DeBose's ensemble character literally become the bullet for the first time. At the very top of the song, we hear the sound of a gunshot, and in that very moment, we see the bullet whiz past Hamilton, sparing his life this time, but we know she'll be back.
Oh, shit.
Moving on to Guns and Ships, we get some more classic BURR sass. We see him glaring angrily from above while Lafayette tells Washington he needs to get his right-hand man back. Because, you know, obviously, he wanted to be Washington's right-hand man, but...
BURR, sir, close the door on your way out.
Ouch. Though nothing hurt more than the first major death in the show, John Lawrence, and in Yorktown we got some foreshadowing thanks to your girl, the Bullet. As they celebrate their victory in South Carolina, we see Lawrence celebrating and shaking hands with the Bullet. It isn't until later that we learn he died just after that interaction, with a redcoat shooting and killing him, despite the fact that the battle had stopped. Next up, we get a little moment that would at least make Aaron Burr smile, because the right-hand man disappointed literally everyone in Say No to This. As Alexander Hamilton gives in to Mariah Reynolds, if you look closely, you can see the collective disappointment of the entire ensemble when Hamilton becomes a dirty-ass cheater. And then a very tiny detail that just kind of made me go, nice, happened in, well, the room where it happens. Leslie Odom Jr. is killing it, of course, but the real hero is the ensemble member who expertly pulls that tablecloth out from under him in time for him to land cleanly on the table. The dude has timing. I mean, I can't stop replaying it. And Burr got more just desserts during the Reynolds pamphlet. We see Mr. Close the Door on Your Way Out stop by to show his disapproval for his right-hand man's very public infidelity. Not right-hand man material anymore, are we? As if his life wasn't tragic enough, we see the Bullet enter once again for some dark foreshadowing with Hamilton's son Philip and Blow Us All Away and Stay Alive reprise. First, she's the one to tell Philip Hamilton where to find George Eaker, who will later accept Philip's challenge to a duel after speaking out against his dad. In this instance, she influences his character directly, leading him toward death. Fast forward to Stay Alive reprise, and we see the Bullet again, by Philip's side, marking him for death in the duel. I can't believe they made me watch Anthony Ramos die twice! You're killing me, Lynn. But the Bullet doesn't stop there, and in the election of 1800, she sets her sights on Burr's career. During the number, she says, "I can't believe we're here with him!" That's not a fan you want, Aaron. He does this silly little fist pump anyway because he's got this, right? Wrong, because Hamilton's a huge butthole with a grudge and supported Jefferson of all people instead. And because people still love Hamilton despite the fact that he's a hot mess, Burr loses the presidency. He obviously blames Hamilton for the loss and decides to challenge him to the ever-faithful duel. Thanks for the warning, Bullet.
Sweet Jesus.
Our second to last moment is more subtle, as the Bullet sets the duel further into motion during probably the most passive-aggressive moment in the show, Your Obedient Servant. As the song begins, you can see that it's actually the Bullet herself who brings out the table where Burr will write said passive-aggressive letters, thus agreeing to a duel with Hamilton where Alexander will meet his end. There, the Bullet finishes her story, delivering herself and death to Mr. Alexander Hamilton. Our final moment takes place during Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, and it's a lot less meta than the whole Bullet story arc for those of you who are ready to be done with that. After Hamilton's passing, we see Daveed Diggs as Thomas Jefferson and Archirite Anadwan as James Madison, recounting Hamilton's legacy and impact on America. Look closely though, because as the song shifts away from them, we see ensemble members then deliver them their white coats so they can later step forward for this moment as Marquis de Lafayette and Hercules Mulligan.
I interview every soldier who fought by your side.
She tells our story.
Chills! I feel like every time I watch this show, something new and exciting jumps out that proves what an absolute genius Lin-Manuel Miranda is. Did you manage to catch these during any of your watches? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know which one was your favorite. While you're down there, of course, go hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. We'll be covering all of our favorite moments in entertainment news, and you're not going to want to throw away your shot to keep up with all of it.